Hi, I'm Randy Cross, and welcome to the Randy Cross Podcast, obviously. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button down there, subscribe, forward this to people. We'd really appreciate you getting this out as much as possible. It helps us all kind of exist, if you would be so kind. All right? Yes, like I said, it's season 6, it's episode 4. And we're just going to do a little commentary. We're going to have a little feel good. We're going to tell you about where to find this thing and where you can send your friends. And then we're going to do a little happy trails and we're going to get out. All right. So we're going to start with a little commentary. And my commentary is something I've talked a little bit about during this off season, but it's not going to get lost in the shuffle as college football season starts. But it might get close because all the action actually supersedes, functional things like organizations and whatnot when it comes to college football. But here is my take on how college football should handle this whole NIL, playoffs, the money, who gets it, how many get it, all that, okay? So starting, number 1. We've got to have a college football playoff division. All right, you with me on that? And we're going to name a commissioner. And we'll have 12 committee members that will help that commissioner. And, different little committees in this whole thing that will have rules and oversight on NIL, rules and oversight on transfers, rules and oversight on everything related to this whole world that is now college football. All right, number 2, my second proposal. We have 60 teams, 6-0, in that playoff division. We're going to chop them up any way you want to, but it's going to be 4 separate little divisions inside that of 15 teams. All right, 4, 15, that's your 60 teams. Now, at the end of the year, you're going to whittle it down to 8 playoff spots. So we're going to double the playoff setup as it currently sits. All right. My third proposal, maybe we're going to call this part of number 2 as far as the number. I want to see relegation. So if we're going to have a top 60, the bottom 10 every year are out. And the top 10 of the others in college football. Also known as, I don't know about the other 70 to 80 teams. The top 10 of theirs get to go over into this division. And they have to play the games. Now it's going to be a scheduling nightmare. But there's a lot of little things in this. You can't go out of your division. You can't do all kinds of things as far as scheduling go. But I think relegation would motivate the hell out of the teams that are perennially in the bottoms of their conferences, even the big conferences, but cash the big checks. Hey, give some of these other teams, a crack at a big check. That, I think, is more than fair. Now, number 3, NIL. We got to have a salary cap. There's got to be a maximum you can spend, but then again, just to make sure the kids are actually all going to make money, because not all of them get these big deals, there's got to be a minimum of what you can spend. So in the NIL world, we've got to have that. Next up on the hit parade in the NIL world, players have to unionize. Players have got to form their own union, which will immediately lead into collective bargaining. Okay? But that'll also lead into some other things, like having a job normally does. You're going to have 401ks. You're going to have health insurance. You're going to have pension setups. That all has to happen. So for people to say, it's really not that big a deal, it's going to be a big deal by the time it's done. And these are not student athletes. Stop using that term. They are now professionals. Now, leading into the whole idea of they are now professionals, idea number 4 for me is 18 is the age limit where you can start cashing checks. 18. Otherwise known as high schoolers, sorry, but no. Either 18 or about to enroll in college is the first chance you have to get that money cashed in your favor. We cannot have this name, image, and likeness in high school. I think it would be asinine. It's just too much. There's got to be some bastion of amateurism, because it's already leaking down there. It may already be too late, but it's already leaking down to that. We've got to preserve some semblance of amateurism in this sport. It's almost gone in all the rest of them, but in this sport. So everything, high school, no. College, yes. You're going to get all those great benefits. I think these are things we've all got to look for, because it's going to be happening here in the next year to 2 years. When all these TV contracts you hear about for, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten and the Big 12 and all this, they're all going to be done in the next year or so. That's all coming up. But when that is done, then you've got to look at the college football playoff TV contract. And that is going to have to be adjusted for all this. But until this is in place, where you have playoff division, you have a commissioner, you have somebody in charge, so you have the committee, you have all that I've already described. That's got to be in place before we can go forward with everything else, as far as the 18 playoffs and the new TV deal, the 60 teams that'll actually cash the big checks. And to be fair, like I said, I think they ought to open it up to the other guys. They should have a chance to get in there and get after some of that money if they're one of the top teams in the next level down. All right, I would love to know what you think of that. Give me a comment, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or anywhere that we've got this thing, because I know you got feelings about it, and it's something that we got to talk about, because you know what? It's going to happen. We might as well talk about it.
This is the good news. This is the good news.
All right, coming up now is the feel-good story of the week. And for all of us out there that actually own Siberian Huskies, I've watched this a couple times. It's great. They are the best dogs in the world. I've got Jack, who's 11 years old. He's obviously mellowed out quite a bit now. Was a little bit more rambunctious earlier in his life, but he might be the best dog I've ever had, and I've had a lot of dogs. But he had a lot of energy at first, but he's quieted down quite a bit. Check this out. Enjoy what the folks from the Dodo have for you.
We've grown up together, but they've started off both as babies. The love between them is very pure. I think they're both as crazy as each other sometimes. They're inseparable, really. Family had to work all day, so they couldn't look after her. So I took her on. She's been here ever since. I didn't actually know that I was pregnant at the time, and that was with Arthur. It was just a bond straight away. She was very all over him, loved him. She's just nurtured him. She had mothering instinct, I suppose. She'd go in the bedroom and she'd have the cribs next to the bed. She'd always be laying there just watching over him. There was some sort of connection there. I think they're learning from each other, like she shows him how to be naughty. Trying to escape into other rooms and they'll both run off together. Learn to be gentle.
That's it. That's good boy. Gentle.
She is really good with him. She's always letting him climb all over her and everything. And they have cuddles together. He's caring, loving, affectionate. The bond between them, I've not seen it before. nice to see how gentle he can be and how silly he can be. They're chasing each other around all day. It's very, very cute. They are really good together. Just lovely to see the bond grow.
Yeah, that about sums it up. I mean, that's in a nutshell. That's how Siberian Huskies are with kids. That's how Siberian Huskies are with people in general. And they will talk to you now. They will talk to you. You haven't heard from Jack here, but he's a good boy. He knows when Dad's working, he's not supposed to be talking. All right. Going to remind you, let's go to the social media side, where you find this, where you can direct people. You can get it on Twitter, you can get it on Instagram, you can get it on YouTube, you can get it everywhere. But the best place to get it and to send people is randycross.com. Every episode of this podcast lives at randycross.com or at randycrossfb on Twitter or rcross51 on Instagram. There's a whole slew of them. All right, that'll do it. This will be our last non-football, if you want to call it non-football, with all the stuff I just did earlier, podcast until the season gets going. Because the season's going to start somewhere in late August. And man, I can't wait. College football and the NFL is back. Happy trip.